If you pay for a membership but you never go, you probably would not expect to be in great shape. You probably would not complain about the fact that the gym isn't good or that the gym isn't working. But we can see this. We see this happen when leaders might expect lots of opportunity or even a great culture. They may expect to see better performance. But what we have to ask is, how are leaders showing up themselves? How are they giving and contributing so those things can happen? And so, for instance, we've seen examples of senior leaders. They're in very, very big roles. Maybe they attend key meetings. They're part of key initiatives. But what we ask is, what are they giving to those efforts? Are they, for example, quiet in meetings, or are they sharing insight? Are they weighing in on important matters? Are they doing the work that comes out of those meetings? Or do you see more maybe of a quiet or even a passive style where that individual is acting more like a passenger than a leader? You're getting a lot of opportunity and value by being in that meeting, but what are you giving? Or here's another example. You might see a leader with the team's giving their best effort, but they may not be getting a lot of time with that leader. So the leader is collecting really their great work, but is that leader helping them grow? Let me give you another example. You and I go out to dinner with friends and the check comes, and you know how this goes, right? Someone's always quietly waiting to see who's going to pick up the tab. Those leaders, they kind of tell themselves, hey, I paid for this last time. I mean, it can look like that sometimes at work, where leader might stay quiet when we need people to take on extra responsibility, not just to help their own function or business, but the enterprise. And so sometimes we see companies where leaders are always waiting for someone else to step in. Let me give you one other example, because we see this in companies going through rough patches. Leaders are asked to freeze hiring. They're asked to cut travel, reduce their spend. And most people do it, but not everyone. There are some leaders that will say, I'm not able to do that. I'm not going to be able to deliver unless I keep my budget or I have my full team in place. And the problem is, if everybody else is sacrificing, but some don't, this is really where you start to see resentment build and a major impact on a leader's brand. Because, like everybody at the table notices in the restaurant when someone's not paying, and people inside organizations notice those leaders who seem to take more than they are able to give. And even if their reasons are justified on some level, unfortunately, it just changes how much others can trust you, how much they want to follow you. And of course, again, it has a big impact on a brand. And so that is why I want to say this is an area where it is just so important to get feedback. It is very easy to get out of balance here.